Morning. Hey, happy Saturday. What is it? Okay. It almost looked like I had lipstick on my teeth, but that happens, I suppose. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Um, so let's just put this here. Oh, so the AC makes unnecessary noise, and like I just haven't had the time to figure out how I can have it on and um just cancel out all the noise. Like I know there are noise canceling apps, but for Instagram, my phone picks up every like the camera is really, really good, which I'm thankful, which is why I got the phone, right? I think I use something on my computer because I go live simultaneously. I keep saying it because I feel like if somebody happens to stumble on this live stream for the very first time, I want them to know this is why I'm doing this until I could figure it out, right? So yeah, I haven't, put too much effort in trying to figure it out on my phone. I mean, if you ever start a business, right, or a side hustle, like some of you like to call it, I really don't like to call my business a side hustle. It sounds so demeaning, right? It's a business. Um, if you for those of you who want to start one or have one or thinking about it or whatever, or just starting one, there's so much things that you're going to learn, especially when you're starting out, you don't even have a team behind you, right? So it's just you sort of doing everything. And so you're going to learn and discover all these all these things. Um, I I have learned so much about social media and marketing and the platforms and the apps and the algorithms and all these other cool stuff when it comes to my business. So let's jump into it. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is 𝐏𝐞𝐫. I am a leadership coach. I help new managers develop leadership influence by mastering their relationships at work. I work specifically with persons who are new in their role. However, my content, um, people who are existing managers, they can find the content very helpful. And the reason why I chose to work with new managers is because they're not, if they come to me, it means they need help. Usually, if someone who has been seasoned, sometimes it's so difficult for them to accept the fact that, hey, I might be the problem, or I need help, or whatever else is going on with them. But I want to help new managers set that foundation so that they can excel, so that they could make their mark in the world. Because who wants to do anything and don't do it well, right? We all want to excel at what we do. I don't know why I keep wanting to say excel. I don't know what's going on with me. Probably didn't have enough coffee. Anyway, so this week, the content I spoke about personal branding a bit, and I wanted to just touch on it today and how it impacts and affect your leadership, some things to think about really. So let's jump into it, right? Okay, so it's important. So I have my notes here, if you see me looking down. So it's important to understand how you want to show up, right? It's important that you understand how you want to show up, like the type of person that you want to be in this world. You sort of need to have an idea of that. In my coaching program, I that's the first module actually. We kind of chat the course, your leadership um, vision. I see, but what you trying to request to be in a video today, you sort of have to know the kind of person that you want to be in this world, okay? And from there, from that purpose, from that place, from that foundation, um, it's you can then uh, craft and curate and create the life that you want. And it is the same with a personal or professionally. So you kind of have to want to know the type of the type of leader that you want to be. Okay. And this is particularly helpful. I want to talk more about that next week as we go into International Women's Day. But that is very important because there's gonna come situations, and you're gonna be presented with options that kind of test that, right? Test the type of person that you want to be. And so it's important you know how you want to show up, right? And so your personal brand, let's get into the explanation, the meaning. So I pulled some stuff, right? So personal branding, professionally, your personal brand is the image people see of you. That's how they perceive you, right? Your personal brand is also how you promote yourself. How do you promote yourself? It is the unique combination of skills, the skills that you have, your experiences, um, your personality, the way the world sees you are, that you want the world to see you. It is the telling of your story and how it reflects your conduct, behavior, spoken and unspoken words, and attitude. So it's kind of like a whole holistic view of who you are, your background, how you show up, how people perceive you. And then there's another explanation. Your personal brand refers to how you, okay, promote yourself. I have that. It is the expertise, experience, and personality that you want everyone else to see about you. And it also could be a combination of how the media depicts you, like the social element of it. And that's so important. It's the idea that people get of you online, right? How you present yourself online. Um, and how they perceive you is in real life. And it really is what sets you apart. It is your differentiator. What makes you different? And I think that this is a question. Let me write that down. Sometimes when I am speaking, like I have my notes, right? But sometimes when I'm speaking, I say something and I'm like, okay, I could really expound on that. And this is one of them. But you really need to ask yourself, what makes you different? How am I different from everybody else? And it is really uh, uh, um, all those things, who you are, your personality, your unique skills and experiences, where you went to school, how you choose to show up, your personality. And so here are a few questions that will help you think about and craft your personal brand. So at the end of this live stream, you really should walk away having some answers to these questions that you probably already know, or thinking about how you want to now chat your course. Okay. So the first thing is, what is important to you? What are your values? And I'll tell you this this right here is very important, right? If you are not in alignment with what you believe in, your values, it's going to show, right? For example, if you are all about the money and title, if all you care about, so you want to be, because there's some people like that, they want to become a manager, they want to become a leader, they want that next step in leadership because they they kind of it's a prestige thing. It's an ego thing, right? It's not coming from a genuine place to serve, because that's what leaders do. We serve. At the end of the day, that's really what you're doing. You're serving your team, you're serving your organization. They're not there to serve you, right? You are there to serve them. You are there to provide the environment, the tools and resources so you could advance the needs and the mission and vision of the organization. But back to your values. If you're all about the money, then you're going to take any job. You're going to be doing things that you're going to be easily bought. Like you could be in a place and somebody wants some information and they just have to call the right price. And if they call the right price, then you're going to give it to them because you're all about the money and the title, and that's what you're all about. No, for somebody like me who, um, and I'm sure many of you who are listening, that money is important, yes, but it isn't that important, right? That you can't be bought, then you will find that you say no to certain situations. You will go into jobs, you will select jobs that and cultures, team cultures that is in line with your values, right? If you go into an organization and they treat people poorly and it's all about the money and it's by any means necessary, and people don't care, senior leadership don't care about people's personal lives, they don't care about their health, they just care about getting certain stuff done, then you are not going to fit in there, which is why many of you who ask about toxic work environments and have these types of bosses, you're uncomfortable because it doesn't align with who you are as a person and your values. Lots of the time, people think money is everything, and that is so not true. You could be in a job getting all the money that you want, all the money that you need. They could be paying you all kind of bonuses. But if you're a person of integrity, you have very strong values and you feel strongly about certain things, then you're not going to work. And it doesn't have to be all bad. Maybe you're in an organization and they treat people well and everything. And maybe you are very family oriented and your family comes first. Like family is everything, and you may find yourself, probably you missed, um, like you have a problem getting time off to attend certain events, right? Maybe you're not unreasonable, then you're going to leave the organization. If somebody else comes along with maybe offering you the same amount or maybe a little bit less, you might leave because your family is important. And so that your values, really, you have to know your values because it becomes a part of your personal brand. It becomes a part of what you are known for, right? Who are you, who you are, and what you are known for. So figure out what is important to you. What are your top three, top five values, right? um so you have to choose jobs, like I said, that support your value. A huge one of my values is integrity, right? And it's important for me to keep my commitments. It's important for me to, like, being, many of you know that my primary role right now, I'm still working my 9 to 5, and I'm in HR. And HR is a very interesting place to work, right? And sometimes I have been, you know, asked or have a suggestion where somebody needs to be terminated, or something is happening, a situation is happening, and people are sweeping it, trying to sweep it under the rug. And I remember I went to this one place to work, and the culture was, I really didn't like that place. But one of the managers had, you know, he had sworn at one of the ladies, and he went on with this, he really went out on her, and everybody was just like, yeah, that's how he is, da, da, da. And I was like, no, no, like, you can't do that, you cannot do that, you can't do that. And I reported him to our managers. At the time, were not based on the island, and I reported him. And I'm like, you have to speak to this guy. And the thing about it is, this guy was very talented. He had a lot of skills that the company needed, and they kind of always pussyfoot around him because they kind of put up with him because he was so talented, and it was just not fair, and I just brought it to light. And he just didn't like me after that. After that, if I had to leave early, he would talk about it. He would say he doesn't know what HR is doing. I didn't do this and I didn't. I really didn't care. I really didn't care. I really didn't care. But because I know I was being true to myself. And so this is, I'm not going to beat this example to death, but these are the kinds of things that you're going to be faced with, and you have to figure out how you want to play it, what you're going to do, how are you going to let it affect your personal brand? How are you going to let it affect the type of person you want to be, the legacy that you leave behind? Because every time you choose the easy way out, and every time you choose to stay quiet, and sometimes timing is everything, yes, and sometimes there are other things at stake, but there's always a way to figure it out and work around that. So, but every time you give in, you are just dumbing down your values. You're not being authentic. You're not being true to who you are. Okay. So that is one. Your values. Then I wanna talk about how do you want others to see you. Okay. Perception is reality for some people. Perception is reality. And we can't afford as influential leaders to say, oh, I don't care. We have to care. We have to care because the experiences that people have with us then shape what they say about us, then shape their experiences, then shape what, you know, just what is out there, right? And I know that sometimes people won't be pleased with the decisions that we make. They may not be, you know, they may not like it. And sometimes when people don't like a decision, they just decide to say bad things about you. I'm not talking about those people, but I'm just talking about those experience. How do you want people to see you? So are you um crafting the perception of what people say of you? Are you warm? Are you approachable? Some people are not approachable. They feel like because they're now in management, they're supposed to be aloof, that they can't crack a smile or make a joke with their team. Why? Why? You're like, why? All you need is for people to respect you, right? Are you warm? Are you kind? Are you helpful? Are you known for that? Right? Or are you known for telling people to figure it out or being difficult? Have you changed since you became a manager, a leader, right? What shows up when you do? What shows up when you do? Do people just leave the room or just sort of disappear when you come into their presence? Do they stop talking? Like, or they embrace you? That should give you an idea of the perception people have of you, right? And the other thing too, what's your appearance like? What is it like? Are you taking time to look at your appearance? Do you think about what you're wearing, how you're put together? Okay, I'm not saying that, ladies, that you have to wear a ton of makeup, but how do you look? Do you have presence? There's some people, and I'm sure that there's some people that show up and it's like they're not even memorable. And memorable doesn't mean that you you have on something flashy and that so people remember it. It means your personality, your aura, you know, your engagement. What shows up when you do? This is an important one. All of that is curating your personal brand. There's some people, they come into a room and they change the energy of the room. Have you ever been somewhere, for example, and somebody comes into the room and everybody say hello and it's if and you're over there like, well, who this person is, Who- you know, that sort of thing. We all have our unique styles and personalities and the way we are, but how are you showing up, right? And it goes back to the first question: what type of person do you want to be? What do you need? What do you want to be known for? So, what shows up when you do, and how are you dressing? What's your appearance like, right? Are you taking the time to put yourself together? Okay. Do you have presence? Can people feel your energetic presence when you are there? Do you carry that aura that you are a leader, that you are confident? And presence is a culmination of a lot of things: confidence, um, personality, experience. Like, can you stand on your own? Can you hold your own? What's your presence like? Or do you, when you come into a space, it's like, oh, so work on that, work on that. Okay. What about your digital presence? Now we're talking about presence. This is already cold. What about your digital presence? What are you putting out online? I find it so funny when people say to me, that's it. Well, when I see people say, I don't think anybody would say to me because I will shut them down, um, and just let them know that's ridiculous. But it's interesting to me that people say that, it's my Facebook page, it's my Instagram page, and I could do whatever I want. Of course you can, of course you can. Anybody could do what they want, but what are the consequences? What are you putting out there as an influential leader? If I go on your page right now, what am I going to see? Right? And what does that tell me about you? And we can sit here and say this isn't right, it isn't fair, we can't judge people by, but how else, if people don't know you, how else are they gonna um assess you? It's like, I do part of my job is recruiting, right? And I usually tell people that I don't know the person. If I am looking at 10 applications, I don't know these people. I may know one, may, but some most of the times I don't know who they are. So I'm just looking at it and I'm assessing based on what's on the paper. What's on the paper, right? It's the same thing. What are people seeing, and picking up when you when they see your social media pages? And for those of you who have LinkedIn pages, when was the last time you updated your LinkedIn? As a leader, you should be on LinkedIn. I'm sorry. LinkedIn is like your digital resume. Utilize that platform. Utilize that platform. I got a job from LinkedIn. Okay. I got a job from LinkedIn. And I know sometimes a headhunter contacted me for a company, and I got the job, and I got more than what I was working for in the current job, right? So LinkedIn works. Even though I'm out here in the Caribbean on a small island, um, I got a job through LinkedIn, right? And so if I wasn't on LinkedIn, so I'm a believer, I'm sorry, you can't convince me of otherwise. So update your LinkedIn, okay? Some of you have some old pictures on your LinkedIn. Why are no pictures on your LinkedIn? You look, it's like you're a ghost. What is that telling people about you? And LinkedIn is one of the first places people go to, right? Especially when you are hiring someone, you'll be like, let me see if they're on LinkedIn. Let me just, you know. So your digital presence, what is it saying about you? Okay. Um, Drop an emoji in the comments if this is making sense to you. Drop an emoji. So we're talking about personal branding. Um, Number four, what's your story? What's your career story? If you um, were in a networking session, if you were in a room full of people introducing yourself, what is the story you want to share about your career, about why you decided to become a leader. What are you gonna tell people? What's your career story? Why did you want to be in management? Why did you choose that particular industry? Do you even know? All of this is curating your personal brand because you need to be able to share that, right? Now, I started the People's brand because there was a need. There was a need on my in my island, and I started the People's brand from there. But prior to that, I've always wanted to own my own business. I just couldn't figure out. I always thought that I don't have a skill, I don't have a gift, right? But my gifts are different. My gifts are with people. My gifts are developing people. My gift is in teaching people, in showing people, in coaching people, which is why I now have transitioned the business to coaching, right? And coaching new managers so I can help them be their best selves. I can help them stand out and be influential in their workplace because really what good are you as a leader if you're not influencing and inspiring your team and others, right? This where we're going. So what is your career story? Okay. And then number five, number five, how are you ensuring that you are learning and growing? Because learning and growing, and I've said this in a couple of my on this page before in my content, and I've said it on live stream that you should set quarterly learning goals for yourself. Quarterly learning goals. Okay, so maybe this quarter, and this quarter soon come to a close. Maybe this quarter you want to learn more about time management, for example. What are you doing? So learn that. Go on Udemy, buy a $20 US dollar course and learn that. But set it out for the next quarters. What do you want to learn? And it doesn't have to be that, hey, I'm going back to school. It doesn't have, maybe it is that, right? Maybe it is, but in that case, I wouldn't set it quarterly. I would just set it as one big goal. Maybe it is that you want to learn how to, maybe you're into gardening, for example, and you want to learn more about that. But you must always keep your brain active. You must always be learning and growing, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to be something specific to um, your career. That is good too. You should learn something specific to what to enhance and to grow on your skills and your expertise. But what else do you want to learn how to do? Do you want to learn how to market? Maybe you're opening, you have a business that you're a dream that you're sitting on, and you want to learn how to market. You want to learn more about Instagram. So there's so many courses out there on how to use Instagram, how to create content, you know. But are you learning and growing? Set quarterly learning goals for yourself. Okay. So that's a free 99 tip. But in doing all of this, it's going to keep you competent and current in your expertise. You have to keep current and competent, right? And then when you are competent, it feeds into your confidence. This is part of where your confidence as a leader comes in. Okay. I, my background, I'm an HR professional, right? That's the foundation for me. And I am so confident. I've been doing this for a while. And for years, I need to really write down the years. I have it written down somewhere on my website, but to pull it out of my memory, I can't because I always get mixed up between that and how long I've been in hospitality, right? Anyway, um, that that confidence, like for me as a HR professional, I am so confident that I can walk into any situation. I may not have, you know, had that particular situation before, but I am confident that I can figure it out because I've been doing it for a long time. Because when you're dealing with people, when you're managing people, when you have people issues, no two situations are alike. It's not alike. So you may have to employ different strategies, but I am confident that I can figure it out. Like I know what to do, right? And this is a place where you need to be at. So setting learning goals, helping yourself, this feeds into your competence and your expertise. It feeds into your confidence and it feeds into your personal brand, what you are known for, right? What you are known for, what you can do. This week I made a post, right? And I said, it was a quote, it was a saying that my mother always said to me, your reputation precedes you. And this is, some people, sometimes you're gonna find you go for interviews or you're being approached for jobs. And it's not because your resume is floating around out there. It is because people have heard of you. They've heard the great things that you're doing. They maybe stumble across your LinkedIn. They like what they see. All of this is personal branding, your image. What are you portraying, right, out there into the world? And so when I have my communicator influence coaching program in there, we speak a lot about charting your course, like figuring out the type of leader that you want to be, the attributes that you want, the characteristics that you want, to develop. Because let me tell you, the characteristics that you see in others, if you can see and identify them in others, their characteristics and their skills that can be developed in you, right? They can be developed in you, right? It's not out of reach. And so um, I want to encourage you to really think about your personal branding, really go back and replay this live stream. Okay. And if it's just one thing that you need to work on, then work on it and then work on another one, right? But think about how you are showing up, who you are, how are you showing up, how do you want to be seen, what's the perception of you, what is the personal branding looks like for your leadership, right? You being an influential leader. This is why you got to work on you. Leadership is about working on you and then bringing that out so you can best serve your team. If you don't work on yourself, then you're probably not going to do a very good job of leading other people. If you are not into developing you, if that isn't like the first point for you, then I have to wonder what's going on with you and your team, because there are levels to this. You continue growing and growing. And as you grow, you're able to give more and invest more with your team. You're able to make a better impact. Okay. So I want you to think about that. If you love this live stream, if you want to work with me, if you're ready to work with a coach, please on Instagram. The link is in the bio. You can schedule a consultation call and you can work with me through my signature coaching program. It's called Communicate to Influence. My website gives a rundown of what it is. So you can visit my website. There's a link there somewhere on Facebook in the bio. It's also in the bio in LinkedIn. So thank you for joining in. Thank you for your participation. Share this out with somebody who needs, to think about, maybe somebody who's new into in the management space and they need to be thinking about their personal brand, right? So share this out to somebody that will find this helpful. And if they're not on social media, I upload my live stream videos on my YouTube channel as well. So I will talk to you next week. I will speak to you next week. And thank you for joining me. Bye.